Good morning. What's going on? As you can see, I'm combing this hair and brushing it. I was blessed with hair, okay? You know, uh, talking about blessings, it's not just hair. It's like the inside of what's going on with you. But for Pamela this morning, I just wanted to come on here and do a little chit-chatting with some people and let them know that it's a good day. It's a real good day. And, people are going to irritate you. There's people that provoke, and there's different styles, okay? And most of the time, they're games. You know what's beautiful? Let me tell you what's beautiful. If you have love for people that you know spitefully use you, that you know play games, silent treatments, they're just mean, always love them. Always pray for them, okay? And pray for yourself because, our walk isn't perfect. But what I want to talk about today is loving people unconditionally. It's a beautiful thing. It really puts a fence in perspective. The fence that I'm talking about is a boundary fence, okay? This boundary fence is wonderful. A lot of people come up with this mind your own business, and that's good. Being a busybody is not probably your best choice. But also, just being able to love people, okay? Now, that word love, it's a strong word, okay? And it's not suiting for a lot of people, I'll say. They're like, I never say that word love. Or you meet people that say, I never say that word hate, And that's good, because, of course, that's a choice. I think that when people choose that, per se, I think what they're doing is, I put a little water in my hands for my hair. It's kind of cool. I could get a spray bottle, but I sort of like doing it this way, People have words that are triggers. And, okay, they react to them. Me, I have triggers. My triggers are people that are just rude on the road. They're just like, like I've talked about before. You get out there, you've got to be cautious, and you've got to understand that, you never really know who's in front of you. Maybe somebody's having a baby, maybe somebody's having an epileptic attack, maybe somebody's cut, maybe somebody's having a bad day. Just, if you have time, be courteous and say, hey, go ahead. You want to get in front of me? Go on. I'll even slow down and get off the road and let you pass me. As long as you don't think it's an obvious. Just slow down, let them go. But you don't want to be dragging, because people that are going too slow could also cause problems as well. So you don't want to necessarily do that, right? But back to talking about, unconditional love. Have you tried it before? Have you ever met someone and most of the things about them somebody would right away notice and say, okay, I don't like that. Oh, I don't like that either. Oh my gosh. And, were you raised by wolves? Sorry. Just things like that, they just are the things that is coming out of their mouths and the way they act is kind of like an obvious of, I really don't like that. But could we find something good in them? I think we could. And that's what helps us in life, I believe. I believe if we can find good in others, okay, then that's going to help us as we view our own self. Now, I'm not talking about looking at somebody first off and saying, hey, guess what? I noticed this about you and this and that and the other. Sometimes if you just hold back and just do it as a test, if you're not used to doing it, because I went through times in my life where I saw a lot of negative in others. And it never was cool. I always felt kind of weird about it, you know what I'm saying? I always felt like, say something nice about somebody because it's going to have like a feeling of like, comes back at you, kind of like a boomerang deal. But, if we're kind to one another and we can find the good in each other, it's always going to be a better day. It is for me, and I hope it is for you. And I did my exercise today. Sometimes it takes a little bit of effort, because my hair is uneven. I'm going to talk to you and just redo it. I don't know. It's just like what you choose, Just think of the choices that we do have. We have a lot of choices in life. I think that's what can become, a little bit not confusing, but the choices could develop a little bit of a reasoning and choices, and you got to think fast. What do you want? It happens everywhere you're at. Now, I have issues in restaurants and menus because if I'm unfamiliar with something and it's not a consistent thing, like In-N-Out, I love In-N-Out. Could we compare In-N-Out and that consistency as well to people? Like, they're gonna, some people are gonna do certain things, right? It's not just history or things like that, but this consistency within a person is I would believe under the category of being stable, under the category of being reasonable, cooperative, But when it comes to push and when it comes to shove, I'm not one to, be pushed around a lot. Now, sometimes I'll be calm and I'll think this is kind of like a little wind that's blowing over a person that's frustrated. And you possibly could be their test to see if you can stay with them and be calm. There's the unconditional love. It doesn't happen with everybody, does it? But isn't it a growth that's inside of you? It certainly is. And the more you use it, the bigger it gets, right? This fan's bumping into this teapot I got. I still love this teapot, by the way. I always kind of introduce different things while I'm talking. Check it out. Isn't it nice? Doesn't have a scratch on it. I'm telling you what, be consistent with going to a thrift store. Talking about consistency, I meet a lot of people that say, I never see anything. I never find anything in a thrift store and this and that and the other. Well, I do. I find things in there because I'm consistent with it. So you want to be consistent with this growth that I'm talking about. Exercise, how you eat, if you can fast. I've been trying this fasting. They call it intermittent fasting, which I don't do. What I'm doing is just kind of trying to chill out on my appetite, because I do have an appetite sometimes. But it's not an appetite for candy, and it's not an appetite for cookies and ice creams, and it's an appetite for, good food. A roast, potatoes, a roasted chicken, asparagus, butter. I remember this chef, I'm going to jump around here a little bit, but we're going to go back to consistency and how wonderful it is. He used to take the sliced shaved almonds and stir fry them in butter. I remember that smell. Isn't that funny how we can go back and remember certain things? They're comforting, aren't they? So while you're thinking today about comforting thoughts, think about consistent, looking for the positive. It's either pessimistic or optimistic. And if you catch yourself doing that, because I've done it. In fact, I've done it quite a bit, that it's kind of harmed me in my life. But if we look for the good, there's good. There actually is. I mean, think about it. Are you going to actually get rid of a rose in the wintertime that's not blooming? You know you're not going to do that. Forget it. You're not going to do it because it's going to bloom. Well, you can bloom too. You actually can. You can bloom and you can become something that you were not, or you can change. I believe in that. I really believe in that, because if we couldn't change in life, we would just be all stunted like a little tree, that never really grows. Or we could, we could gain, higher ground within our spirits and our unconditional love for actually first ourselves. Because then you're able to see somebody else that has troubling days, or, different things. And actually, don't play too hard into it. What you want to do is just acknowledge it, probably silently, and then let that growing happen. Okay? Now, I'm talking about things that probably most people would say, duh, you didn't learn that in 5th or 6th grade. I'm sorry, I didn't. Is there someone out there that didn't, either, Because I didn't learn all these things. So sometimes you talk to people that are kind of, they're shrewd, they're snobs in a way with their education. They want to kind of push that on you. But there's nothing better than hospitality, okay? There's nothing better than having the love of serving one another. But if you come at somebody mean and you're trying to make a point, they're not going to receive it. And if they do, it's going to cause anger. I learned the hard way. But there's some days that you really need to put your foot down and just speak your mind and tell somebody that, because holding things in is not going to be good for you either. Okay? So it's a good idea to be able to do that as well, My hair's driving me crazy. I got to put up. There's going to be things that are going to just get on your nerves that way too, So it's a good idea to put your foot down with them, okay? You put your foot down with certain people, okay? Because when you do that, it kind of lets them know, hey, this person's letting me know something. Letting me know how they feel. And you don't need to bottle up those feelings either. When you bottle up those feelings, that could be very unhealthy for you, okay? But it's how you do it. But when you do that, guess what's going to happen? You are going to probably sleep like a baby. Because you let somebody know that, hey, that's about enough. And it's good. We do this with children. We do this with pets, animals. We do this maybe on the job. What you can do and what you can't do. It's the passive aggressive, the I'm going to do this because it's going to make me feel better. How about just kind of like letting people know as an example? That always works as well. Then you don't have the confrontation. But as far as Pamela goes, I didn't grow up in a situation where I had parents that just actually sat me down and said, look, this is how you handle things in the world out there. Basically, I'm not a victim, but I did have to learn quite a bit on my own. And even if you have wonderful parents, you could have a spirit of being a rebel, a spirit of like, well, I'm going to do it my own way, which most people do anyhow. The hard part is loving somebody and kicking back and watching them fall in that river. So, you just take it one day at a time. And you know to yourself that you've done a good job in certain things, But we do have to feel all these feelings. We have to feel misery. We have to feel loneliness. We have to feel love. We have to feel creativity. The problem is the balance. Here we go again with the balance. So the unconditional love, I'm talking to you today about to have for yourself. And it really is a remarkable thing to be able to dance and walk and step and think and all of these feelings of unconditional love. It's absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I think I just had a thought right now I'm going to share with you. I remember, did Michael Jackson sing it? One bad apple don't spoil the whole bunch, girl. So I think he was kind of like saying, all the rotten men you met and fellas, I'm the good apple. Or you can take it any way you want. I like things like that where you can decide and you can kind of share. It's really interesting to talk and have a conversation with people where they're not like mad. They're trying to prove a point. They believe that they're kind of higher than you on an educational way of history. History is history, but today's today. And today's a beautiful day. And if we can unconditionally love one another, I think that in my communication, I don't want to be rude to somebody, so they catch a vibe off of me that I don't want a confrontation while I've, been wanting to walk a peaceful walk and have the shoes of peace, So if I put on the shoes of peace, it's like maybe possibly people are expecting you to be angry or react like you used to react or just trigger you. These triggers are real. Focus on your triggers today, how you could change them, how you don't want to be around it, but if you do and you are triggered, how you're going to handle them. It's Miss Cool saying, handle them correctly. I try to avoid situations, but at the same time, I know if, the water's getting hot or the ocean's getting deep. When you're conversating with someone and they're trying to teach you something that you don't want to be taught, because you feel like inside of that there's like they're humiliating you or they're violating you because maybe you're in their house or they think that they can push you around. They're bullies. Just consider that there's something weak about them. They're insecure. Something's missing. When there's something missing even in a recipe, you'll taste it. Oh my gosh, have you ever made a banana bread and put too much, baking soda? It's going to give you a tingle in your mouth. Different things that you do in life, there's going to be a cause and effect. So Miss Cool saying, have a great day today. Have unconditional love. Do some exercising, but at the same time, give yourself some treats and love. Like for me at Trader Joe's, I like this black licorice. Okay? You don't have to wait for Halloween to have some black licorice. You can get a little bag and, give yourself a little treat. You can get like 100% cocoa, a little candy bar here. But if you slow down on that and you don't do a lot of it, then it's even more exciting because you've kind of did some control. So control yourself today, and I'm going to work on controlling myself and not think negative, but actually look for the good. So just like the rose that all winter long just really looks terrible. I mean, come on, man. You could blow on it or break it, and it's like... So let's be soft, let's understand, and be a petal that blooms. Write a poem, do some art, whatever you want to do to be creative. You could plant a plant and be creative, whatever you want to do. But Miss Cool wants to show you right now this plant I got yesterday. I have an indoor garden, by the way. I like it. There's something about it that's making me happy, okay? Look at this purple plant. Okay, now what is it called? I told the lady, I said, look, this plant looks like it's going to go outside. And she told me, well, it'll be all right inside. So I planted it, went outside and got some rocks to put on the bottom of it before I put the dirt in. And I'm really enjoying my plants. This African violet's doing good. Always know that you water those from the bottom, okay? And then they go up. I guess when you get older and you kind of get baby hungry or want a baby or something to hold. So a lot of people say get a dog, but I really don't want a dog. If I had a big place to live, of course I'd want a dog. But I don't have a dog right now. And these plants make me feel good. They say that medicine, it could be putting your hands in dirt like I do, is actually an antidepressant. Can you believe that? Isn't that beautiful? So see, I just planted that. So what I'm going to do is kind of put that up around that stem there a little bit here. Okay. Now look how beautiful that plant is. Isn't it gorgeous? All right. So have a wonderful day. These are umbrella trees. I got 2 of them. That one's got a little baby coming out. I'll show you my other ones that I love. Okay. Look how beautiful this one is. I trimmed it even. Now I've got the ivy. So now I'm going to go over to Smith's and see if they have any shamrocks. Because I miss my big shamrock that used to be in that little place. All right. Have a wonderful day. Pamela saying...